Well, hello and welcome. We're back. Woohoo! I think there's a familiar saying like that somewhere. We're back, but I think it's from a scary movie. Hello and welcome to Leading Ladies, Leaving Legacies. And we're back with you after being on a little hiatus for a while. I am Joy Ruffin, and the work that I do is as a leadership and signature style specialist, speaker, executive producer, TV host, and podcaster. But every week here on Leading Ladies, Leaving Legacies, we bring you a featured guest speaker. And that featured guest speaker will be always someone that hopefully the prayer is will be able to share with you what their gift and genius and greatness is all about and how it can impact you. And today is no different. But let me say to you before we get going, because we're having a few little teeny weeny tiny issues here, and it happens. This is what we call life, and you have to ride the wave, ride the surf. One of the things that we're excited about here in Leading Ladies, Leaving Legacies, and the Ruffin Oak Consulting LLC that I'm all about, and I have a team of people that I work with, we are all about bringing to you any and every and all that will help you, support you to step into your divineness. Because the belief is, and the knowing is that everyone has it. And here it's all about power. But power that's divine, that's used in the right way. It entails truth, love, and beauty. And that's why my work as a signature style specialist is going to be vastly different from most likely anyone that you've ever worked with before, because we're going back. We're going back to the basics, to the beginning. We're going to birth a whole new way of stepping into your divine masculine and feminine, because each gender has both. And then we're going to step into the equality that was meant from the very, very beginning. Now, today, my featured guest speaker is having some issues. So until she arrives, I'm going to attempt to share with you some of the power points that we're all about. When it comes to fashion and style, the entertainment industry, and communications, please bear in mind that it's not a negative judgment. It's just that it's time for us, you and me, all of us, to take up the reins and begin to step into the true equality. And it applies to men as well, because it hasn't been what it needs to be. And today we're going to talk about business, because business, let's just face it, the reality is, and there's no blame, we're not bashing and blasting men out of the stratosphere, because we wouldn't be here without them. But the reins of power have been pretty much held by the masculine sex from the beginning of time. Wasn't designed that way. I'm not going to go back and qualify and attempt to rectify what has been. It's just time to reset, to reprogram and recondition all of that. And that's what my movement is about here. So looking for change makers, agents of change. I went over this Monday. I'm going to be repeating it again and again. She sent me a photograph. I think she's having a hard time getting in here. So this is my featured guest speaker. So let me see what her photograph says, because I don't think she's able to get in. And I don't know how to support her now, because we need to get her here. Alrighty. I don't know what to say to her. I'm hoping she's listening, because we sent her the link, and I sent her the link. And my engineer, if you're there, you can attempt to send her the link again, because what we're going to be talking about is how to blow up your business. You're booked, busy, and you're paid. Now, we all know, most of us, that the base bottom line is that a lot of people, and we were going to talk about something that was very endearing for me, likes, follow, engagement. But how does it really apply when you're working towards building your audience? And as much as we'd like to, and when I started off this way, you want to be engaging with everyone, and you want everyone to like you, and you want everybody to come aboard and be on your team. Well, this is not a word that I'm fond of, and I don't like it, but somehow it's creeped into my verbiage here and there. It ain't happening. It's just not going to happen. So that said, I'm just wondering, what is it that we're all going to do? How are we going to change this wacky world when it comes to these three big that really rule and the masculine dominating? However we do that, that's our assignment, because the awakening and the new title, I say it all the time and I will continue to, because I felt it in my bones. The Minister of Enlightenment, awareness and awakenings, because it's time for all of us to wake up. And somehow for us as women, leading ladies, however it happened, we don't go back, we move forward. We just drop the ball. That's just all there is to it. So how do we regain? Because it's not there. It never was. And even for those of you who remember Gloria Steinem, she started a movement for female equality. That was a wee little talk. I like to exaggerate. But the reality is, the truth be told, it did get off to a great start and a great beginning, and it always has been in the making. But what happened for many of us females, whether it was your time or not, if you can recall and if you keep up with history and what's going on, what went on back in the day and what's going on now and what's looking towards the future, too many of the women took up the role of leadership and stepping into positions of power and doing it exactly, more or less, the way that men do. It doesn't work that way. The female divineness is totally different. Yet, the balance, when it's done right, it can be a beautiful dance. And that's really what it's all about. How do you get to do that dance in a way that's complementary to you? And it's not about the programming, conditioning, and the sexualizing that we've all been conditioned to, programmed to. I have a friend who uses the verbiage reset. I have another friend who says it's a rebirth. It doesn't matter which prefix you use, it's time for change. And that change begins with you and me. And I think it's really time for all of us. And you know, it doesn't matter what generation you're in, whether you're at the beginning or you're in the middle or you're towards the end, and then the sections in between those three. It really is irrelevant, because the reality is it's time for you, me, all of us, regardless to where you are, to really look in that mirror and see your truth, love, and the beauty of you. My guest has just arrived. Thank God she arrived. Let me say this to you, because this is a beauty. For those of you who don't know me and you're going to be getting to know me, I love technology. And I fly by the seat of my pants and I ride the wave. I ride it all the time because I love to. But I'm going to cut my little soliloquy, so to speak, short. And I'm going to share with you a little bit about my featured guest speaker. Gayle Marie Morrison is a marketing maven, and so on and so forth, and on and on and on I go. But rather than do that, I'm going to ask my engineer just to bring her up, and then we're just going to get started because time goes here. And I want to say hello, Gayle Marie.
Hello, Joy. I am so glad that this worked out.
I am
Thank
too.
you. Thank you
No,
for your patience and thank you for having me. I am excited to finally be here.
You know, I love laughter and I love making mistakes and boo-boos and life just riding the wave, because you just have to do that. I don't know what happened. I go forward, but I'm honored and delighted that you're here. I can do a solo all the time, anytime, because I can do this, but I love doing this. And I'm absolutely mesmerized by your background and whatever. I didn't get a chance to go into it as much as I wanted to, but I love the title, How to Blow Up Your Business. You're booked, you're busy, and you're paid. Now that appeals to every entrepreneurial person and corporate for that matter. So tell us a little bit about your background before we get started here. And I'm going to ask you some questions related to what you shared with me.
Sure. Well, I'm a Joy, I'm a serial entrepreneur.
Mm-hmm.
Right out of college, I came out with a degree in business and a degree in communications, with communications multimedia being my first love.
Mm-hmm.
But my family told me, you need to really go into business, because communications may not pay the bills, but business always will. So I embarked on that endeavor, and it came a few years later, about 2010, that I decided to focus solely on marketing. And I got real serious about helping my clients achieve their goals in about 2015. And that's where the Marketing Consultant of Maryland started.
Mm.
So,
I love that. I
mhm,
love that. I love that. I love that. Let me tell you why. Because business, communications, and the marketing, no matter what business you're in, that's it. That's
exactly.
the keys that you need. And believe me, as painful as it is for me, I'm just beginning to get the bedrock of that. Really
Yeah,
beginning to get the nuances of that. But Gail, let me just go back a wee bit because
sure.
what you gave me, I want to speak to a little bit. And I know Maryland, most people do very, very well.
Mhm.
And you started off as a caregiver to CEO. Tell us how that came about.
Well, I started I was in business and my father became ill.
Ah.
So he became ill in about 2017. However, it progressed slowly and I was still managing my business. But 2020, COVID hit and his disease escalated very quickly to the point where he was unable to do anything for himself. So as the days wore on, I became more and more full time till I was 24/7. And that went on for 3 years, 3 consecutive years, until he passed away in 2023.
Mm.
At that point, I was not working in my business.
Mm-hmm.
I had to actually put that aside. I don't regret it. It's one of the best decisions that I've made.
Ah.
And so I'm grateful to have had the opportunity to serve him in that way until his dying day at home with
Oh,
me.
that Gail, that is so admirable. And I understand that. I think very few people, until it happens to them, realize the weight that it takes to be a caregiver. And
Yeah.
then for you to be that for 3 years and to be with your father, that's beyond admirable. I celebrate and applaud you for that. But let's get to what most of us want to know more about. And you
Mhm.
mentioned to me the three pillars of growth.
Yes.
And you talked about business, communication, and marketing. Any
Yes.
and every soul that's working here online, whether you're a newbie or you've been at it for a while or you're super successful at it,
Mhm.
want to know a little bit more about how to be more so. And if you're really about being a change agent and powerful, you want to know how to serve others. So
Yeah.
tell us a little bit about these three pillars of growth.
Well, how that came about is right after my father passed, I had to basically stand up my business again. And
Mm-hmm.
so by doing that, I embarked on doing a number of things, education. And, in 2024, the beginning of 2024, so much in the market had changed post COVID. So
Mm-hmm.
I had to get certification for as an AI specialist as well as marketing through Cornell University. But once I did that, I basically just started on the path of saying, what do I need to do to get my business growing quickly, um, and be effective with it?
Mm-hmm.
So that's where the pillars came in. The first one started with visibility, and I'll go back and explain what that entails. The
Mm-hmm.
next was client engagement, and the third was lead flow acceleration.
Mm-hmm.
And why those three pillars made a difference, it was my aha moment because I was doing very well on social media. That was the thing to do. So I could get 773, 1,000 comments and 3, 4, 5, 600 likes on a particular post. But there wasn't my audience. It wasn't the individuals that were committed to working with me. So likes won't pay the bills. And so
I
I had to develop a system to
love.
get booked and paid, booked,
I love
busy,
that.
and paid.
That Gail, I tell you, I'm smiling from ear to ear here because that was my next to you, the why likes don't pay the bills. And most of us start off kind of with likes and follow and all of that. But let me back up just a wee bit, Gayle, because you came in and I'm so happy that you're here. But I wanted to do this in a different, but I'm riding the wave here.
Sure.
Tell us what business you were in and you started before you started to do this for other businesses. What is a business that you initiate and birth yourself and then found out that there was a need in the market for others to have the wisdom and the knowledge that you gained?
That is the marketing. Prior to my marketing agency, I was in the finance field of adult
Ah,
education information. I was a mortgage broker, owned my own mortgage company. Those are the things that I've done in business. My first company was investment management and finance,
ah,
way back in the day. So
mhm.
that just gave me the ability to understand business development and business planning, and also marketing is a part of that entire process. So I started in business, and when I moved to marketing full time, it was in 2010.
Got it. Got it. Got it. Got it. Let me ask you this, Gayle. I'm not going to say it because I say it all. I am repetitive and I repeat myself all the time. But when it comes to marketing and sales and all the things, business and communications that we're talking about, would you say that knowing how to market your business would be the number one thing that all of us have to really embody, embrace, and love, or we're not going to have a successful business, no matter what it is? Or how would you phrase that?
It would be a combination. You have to be cognizant about marketing touches every aspect of your business,
Ah,
from the initial touch point to the conclusion. It's all about marketing.
mm-hmm,
However, some people, it is a nuanced process to be a marketing strategist.
mm-hmm.
So, therefore, I recommend that if you're going to embark on marketing, that you hire a strategist and or consultant so that you're not wasting time and you're on the fast track. So it's a combination. You do need to learn as you grow, but some people need to earn first and then have the luxury of maybe becoming a little bit more proficient in marketing. But I would always state that if you're going to embark on marketing, make sure that you're working with a seasoned strategist consultant so that you are getting the immediate return on your investment.
Boy, oh boy, I love that. And the clarity and the description of that, Gayle, and how you explain that, spot on. Listen, my friend, we started off late, but I'm going to come back and go back to strategist,
Okay.
consultant, and somebody who's seasoned. And then we're going to talk a little bit about what you left me with that I want to share with the audience. So hold
Okay.
tight.
All
My
right.
engineer is going to put you in the green room, and I'll be with you in just a second.
All right.
I'm so glad you arrived, Gayle. I can always solo, but I so enjoy listening and learning from other people. Friends, if you're not a member of Leading Ladies, Leaving Legacies, then the question is always the same. Why not? Because we are a group of women who are all about our vision, our mission, and the purpose that we're all about. And it warms my heartstrings to each and every week when we're with you to bring you women who will bring you a new perspective or a different perspective, one and the same, on maybe what you're doing so that you can celebrate and acknowledge the divine feminine in you, because that's what it's all about. And the other thing that I want to share with you today is that we are going to invite you, we, me, I, us, me, to the Great Discovery. This is a new, it's really not new platform that I have become a member of that I absolutely love. I joined it almost a year ago, and because of all of the major transitions, I've not been able to dwell into it as deeply as I want to. But let me tell you, gut intuitive, I know that this is where I need to be. And this is most likely where you need to be too. If you're a course creator, if you're a speaker, a consultant, a coach, and all the others, then this is where you belong because it's global. So take a screenshot, take a snapshot, and go with that Zoom link. And any weeknight, go in there at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and you'll get a real flavor. And you can pop in and get the nuance of what they're all about and what we're offering. My seed for joining was that it's global, because that is my intention, to be more global. And then I want to put up my featured guest speakers poster graphic. This is where you need to be. This lady, and I only bring you those that I know for sure as much as one can, never being all knowing. But this is a lady, book solid, she means it. So it behooves you not to take a screenshot or a snapshot and align with her. And we'll put this up maybe again towards the end. But I want to get back to Gayle. Make sure you take a screenshot and a snapshot. Gayle, I'm just so glad you arrived here, because I was wondering, oh, this is so powerful, and I didn't want to leave it out. Tell us how to consistently, there's so much juice you gave me, but how do we consistently book 10 to 18 qualified leads weekly? What are some of the tips or tools that you can leave us with, or when they book a complimentary with you, they will be able to gain?
Right. Initially, most people think that when you are have a calendar full of qualified leads, they kind of start towards the middle, towards the end of their funnel. How to get booked 10 to 18 qualified leads each and every week. And I have to cut off my calendar in order to accommodate individuals.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because I can't accommodate, so I can't take on more than, but what happens is it starts first off with understanding your ideal client. And I don't mean, when I talk to most people, they give me 2 or 3, maybe 4 points of who they believe their ideal client is. Not realizing, however, that the ideal client, when you develop that buyer persona, you should have at least 30 characteristics of that particular buyer. Once we truly understand that buyer, then we determine the best method to reach the individual, because now we know who we are talking to. So once we know who we're talking to, we develop the method upon which is most effective to reach them. Then the final step then is, from what we're offering, your signature offer, what benefits would address their concerns or issues? What are you offering them? And when people do that, they don't necessarily list it as from the person's point of view, but from their skill set, which doesn't always connect. So it's very important to connect those benefits with the psychology of the buyer, with the right method, which will provide the right content. And that's how it's easy to get booked and paid.
I like that. And you know why? Because I have to tell you, I'm guilty of your skill set as opposed to the client, the people that you're looking for. But when you say 30 characteristics, I think I understand clearly what you're saying. But is that to say, Gayle, that we need to have 30 traits or attributes of that individual that we're searching for, that we know about, their environment, where they live, and all of that?
All of that. The demographics is what most people were accustomed to many, many years ago when you talk about marketing. Then they came up with the psychographics. There's also emotional mapping. There's decision-making matrix. There are templates that I provide my clients when we are building their buyer persona or their ideal client. A day in the life of scenario, a feedback loop, online behavior. This is the type of information that you need to know about your buyer to be spot on and not waste time with those that are not committed, or those people that may sign up that are just looky-loos.
Well, when you say emotional mapping, explain that to me a wee bit, because that I think that's powerful, because we are ruled by emotions.
That is true. And because of that, there are ways to appeal to a person's emotion to let you know that you understand what it is that they're experiencing, and then also gives you the content and the context upon how to explain to them how you can assist them effectively.
I love that, because when we talk about emotional mappings, most of us at some point in time, we have come to know that this universe evolves and revolves around emotions.
Yes.
So getting to know that would be really important. And then you say that then we can strategize our signature offer so that it relates and connects to the individual. I like that. Tell us a little bit about your trifecta, the ultimate growth plan, blueprint that you have.
The trifecta came based from what I put myself through when I was starting the business over in 2024. And that visibility was the first piece. And that visibility was the brand development of the company and the personal brand development, also the development of the buyer. So those were the visibility piece. And with that, that meant that, press releases, um, talk shows, I wrote a book, was the #1 new release. Those things were for visibility. And this is just a snapshot. Next was
Oh,
client engagement. Client
yeah.
engagement is the second, how to start that funnel, how to reach that individual one-on-one, understanding what keeps them up at night. Um,
Mm.
and how to engage with them, what to say to them, when to say it, and understanding where to say it when it's significant. And then the last is the lead flow accelerator. So the trifecta is visibility, client engagement, and then lead flow. Lead flow is what I do for myself and I offer for my clients, where we actually provide those qualified leads based upon our system of understanding what the issues are, what the offer is, and what you can do for them. And so we are able to attract, with the right content, with the right unique selling proposition of my individual client, we're able to attract the right buyers.
Well, Gail, I think you just gave us what your 30-minute personalized complimentary call will be about and what it will entail.
Well,
So,
actually, it goes a little deeper because it's also an audit where I will go and look at your online presence.
uh-huh.
And then I will prepare a report for you for free, as to what I see will make a difference on your online presence in attracting your target audience.
Oh,
And from there,
yes.
we can discuss the business model, and some other things, offer, lead magnets, etc., that will be beneficial for you in order to get booked, busy, and paid.
I like it. Booked, busy, and paid. I don't know anybody, as my mom would say, would have a brain who wouldn't want that. So why not? I think it's great. And I think if my engineer can put up your poster, once again, we have some minutes here.
Okay.
I'm glad that you arrived. This is a great poster, my friends, a graphic that you need to take a screenshot or a snapshot, even though this will be flowing everywhere. And then you can, in turn, connect with Gayle Marie and see if you can up level, upgrade, whatever your
Hmm.
lead magnet, whatever that might be, or lead flow.
Yeah,
I think that
it's time to level up.
level up, level up. I like that. And for me, one of the key words that I use, and most everyone wants more today than ever before, power in the business that they're doing. Meaning you want to own and be aware and on top of whatever it is that you're doing. And that's
Yeah.
what you're offering people. So I love
Yes.
that. What are the types of businesses that you work with predominantly? I know entrepreneurials, but what do you find thus far would be the #1 people who come to you? What is the type of business that they're doing? Have you bracket that out where grouping it?
Yes, coaches and consultants. So coaches of all levels. Now, um, health coaches, health and wellness,
That's what.
um, mhm,
Yeah.
coaches, consultants, course creators. Now, I'm even working with someone who was not a coach, who was in multi-level marketing as an insurance agent, who is
Ah,
now going to be a business and financial coach. So we've developed her program, and all of her content and her lead magnets, her landing page, etc. And we're starting to book clients for her new coaching program. And we've done that in 15 days.
whew. Gail, I'm so glad that you arrived because I'm all about female empowerment and equality.
Yes.
The word empowerment, I'm getting a little tired of, but I get it. I understand it. And when I ask you about your business, I didn't know, you and I had a brief conversation, that you were in the financial business. And I was, for a short time, in the insurance business. That's where I met
Mm-hmm.
hubby. But I have
Mm-hmm.
to tell you that most of the people I meet, when it boils down, one of the 3 businesses that I've been aligned with over the years, the
Mm-hmm.
people that I connect with were too as well. I
Mm-hmm.
just love what you're doing. I think it's so needed today more than ever, especially since COVID, and so many
Yes.
people lost their jobs and now they're doing
Yes.
entrepreneurial work. So I'm sure that there are plenty out here who can utilize your work and your business. What parting words would you like to leave us with? The time just flies here. What do you want the takeaway to be for you today?
Just realize that you have a uniqueness and an authenticity that needs to shine through. Not a cookie cutter marketing strategy, but something specific that only you can fulfill. And from that standpoint, you are empowered, you are confident, and you can become booked, busy, and paid.
Yay! I love it. I love it. Gayle, I'm just so happy that you arrived. I believe in divine order and whatever that means to the individual. But thank you, thank you, thank you. My engineer's
Thank
going to put
you.
you the green. Oh, you're most welcome. And I'll be with you in just a second. Friends, the time flies here. And I cannot tell you, I wish we had had more time, but Gayle came and she delivered. She gave all the nuggets and the tips and tools that you'll need to begin maybe a new outlook and a new approach to whatever it is that you're doing. I know it applies for me. So that said, wherever you are and whatever you're about, be and stay well. Know how unique and powerful you are. I love her expression, cookie cutter. We can no longer meld into the sameness. It's time to rise, climb, and soar into the greatness and the gift and the genius of you. And that is what Gayle is offering, because sometimes we're so deep in the forest, we don't see the trees. So that said, sending you much, much love, always, from my heart to yours. Be and stay well, and we'll see you again soon next week. Until then, all the best. Cheers.